Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. Today is Saturday, so it is our regular day to post a Kit Conspiracy layout. And I am working with this paper that has this really circular pattern on it from the kit. And I went ahead and I did some stitching on 3 of the rows. I know it's a little hard to see there. I've got teal, that mustard line, and then a gray line of stitching. And I'll show you on the back there what it looks like. I know it's hard to see on camera, but it's really easy to see in person, and I really love the added texture that the stitching brings to the layout. So I'm going to start by matting my photos. It looks like I'm matting them here on white, but what I'm going to do is I'm just cutting it down to size, and then I'm going to ink up the mat with some Catherine Pooler ink in, I think it's called Skylight. And it's kind of that color of the teal in there, but it's kind of like a muted teal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just by inking up the edges by by rubbing the ink pad across the edges. And yep, Skylight. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink up the outside of the entire layout with the same color, just to bring in more of that teal that matches kind of the star. There's 2 orange stars and then a teal star. It kind of matches that star. And I'm liking the way that that's looking. These are 2 photos of my daughter on the same carousel that my son was on in yesterday's layout. So if you missed that, you can go and check that out. It was done for Mixed Media Mayhem using the same kit. So I have the photos of her on the same carousel and doing the whole brass ring thing where they grab the brass ring and try and throw it in that big clown's mouth. I don't have a ring for her. Oddly, I showed my son the layout that I made for his, and he said, "Oh, actually, that was her brass ring." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, it's on your layout." And he's the one that, I guess she brought it home and she gave it to him, and he's held on to it, and he's the one that gave it to me. So yeah, interesting story there. But I decided to pull out all of these circular bits from the chipboard. I also am pulling in a couple of the wooden buttons, and I'm actually leaving the wood on them this time. I normally peel the epoxy out of the center and use that because the buttons are very dimensional, but in this case I wanted to go ahead and use them. I liked the added texture that it brought to it, and I've just peeled the foam backing off of the buttons because that just adds another layer of dimension that I didn't feel like it needed. So I am pulling out a few of the ephemera bits here of words and labels, trying to figure out exactly where I want them situated, and thinking about whether I want them kind of down here in the corner, or if I want to keep them more situated around the photos closer so that it doesn't break up those lines in the circle. So I do end up pulling them all in close to the photo and not putting them in the corners down at the bottom or the top or anything. But while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to work on my title. So I cut this like charcoal gray square or rectangle from the cut apart sheet. I'm going to back it on some gray foam, and I just do that by like laying it on the adhesive side of the foam, as you saw there, and then I put the backer for the adhesive back down, and then I trim around the paper, and that keeps my scissors from getting gummed up. And then I'm using this alphabet. This is from Spellbinders, and I'm going to work on my title, which is going to be I think it's Looff Carousel, if I remember correctly, and it's 1911 Looff Carousel, and it's really just the date that this carousel was created and who it was, or the name of the carousel. It's, you know, antique, old, 1911, and it still runs to this day. It, I think, is considered a historical site, or a historical. I don't think it's a monument, but it's a historical thing in Santa Cruz. So you can go and check that out if you're ever in the Santa Cruz area. It is on the boardwalk, and it's really cool. Okay, one thing I really like about this font is I really love the R. It actually comes with the regular R as well, but I really like this one that goes up over the whatever the next letter happens to be, and in this case it's an O. So that was one reason I decided to use this one. Also, size was really important because I wanted to be able to fit all of that underneath the two photos. And so I needed something that wasn't super big. Also, I mean, it doesn't really matter for this one because I don't have any letters that have descenders, but this was a perfect title or a perfect way to situate a title if you have a lot of lowercase letters that have descenders, which is ones that hang below the line like a Y or a G, because it wouldn't matter. A lot of times I find the lowercase fonts harder to use because of the ascenders and descenders, but in this case it wouldn't matter either way, and so this was the perfect font to use for this because of that. And nothing is stacked on top of each other, so I didn't have to worry about nestling any letters in and amongst each other, and I really like the way that it came out. I am also going to go and cut out the 1911 because it does come with the date or the numbers, and that way I can put that just above where it says Looff Carousel. And again, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be up higher, like on another line there, so it doesn't matter that there's no like the ascenders or descenders. I don't have to worry about the ascenders in the line below it, is what I'm trying to tell you. Wow, that was a big mouthful for that. While I work on this title, I just want to remind you to go and check out what MK has going on her channel today. I can't wait to see her layout. We have been having so much fun checking out all of the layouts that we have done and comparing them. And if you watched yesterday's video, which was also done for Mixed Media Mayhem, it was just kismet that we both used the exact same paper, and we pretty much used very similar colors on top, and we paired it with the same striped paper. So it was really interesting. That doesn't usually happen. We usually have very different ways about going about things, but it was cool that we both kind of did the same thing. So I am popping some of the words up at the top there up onto some foam as well. So I'll have a little bit of dimension up at the top of the photo on the left hand side. So anyway, I want to tell you also in my description box down below will be the link for MK's channel, as well as links to any products that are available or that you might be interested in picking up that I used on this layout. And those are affiliate links, so if you do purchase through those links, I do get a little bit of a kickback for that, so I do appreciate it. If you do use the links, you are not required to, but again, I do appreciate it. And I am required to tell you that by law. I'm not trying to make a plug for myself or anything, but it is required that I tell you since the links are affiliates. So there you go. There's the spiel. Usually I have it up on the screen, and I don't know if I'm going to end up putting it up there or not, or if I have time to, because I'm doing this voiceover at very last minute. Okay, so I am adding all of those pieces of chipboard. Some of them, the chipboard kind of peels off, and so it's like half the height that it would normally be. And so I do add a little bit of liquid glue. I add liquid glue most of the time to the big chipboard pieces anyway, because they tend to pop off when you bend the page if you don't add glue to them of some sort, whether it's like a glue dot or liquid glue. Just the glue that they come with is not the best. Although I will say that the ones from Cocoa Vanilla is working a lot better than some of the brands that I normally work with. And then I am just going to pop in some of these little circle puffy stickers. Here's the information on the lowercase alphabet. It's called Be Bold. And again, that link's going to be down below for you. So I'm adding a few of the puffy stickers. I considered adding it by those two dots in the bottom right and the upper left, but I decided just to leave it on the diagonal and not go overboard. And I really do like the way that it ends up looking. I think it looks really nice. It's kind of simple, but there is a lot going on that background paper, and then with the added stitching, and then adding all of the little circular bits and bobs there, it works really well. So I'm pretty happy with the way that it turns out. Now I'm going to tuck that bottom piece in underneath my photos. Bottom piece. It is on the bottom layer, but it is above the right hand photo. So, and then this other piece is going to be on top, and I think I'm going to pop that up onto some foam as well, just to give a little bit of additional height. And I do like the way that looks, because I've already got a lot of height going on with some of the other bits and pieces there. So now I will also have a video for you guys tomorrow. It'll be a bonus video, and then on Monday I will have a new kit share for next week. So don't forget to come back and check that out, because we have a whole new kit that we're working with next week for you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun too. And that will be our third kit. So, and it's a big kit, you guys. So the one coming up is really a large kit. So I'm going to see as many as I can. I know I've got a couple of double page layouts coming up. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to come back, because I know I have at least 3 of them, possibly more. Again, with the puffy stickers, adding a little bit of liquid glue is definitely going to help those stick also. I do find that these puffy stickers don't stick as well as some of the other ones that I've worked with. So it's just always, when you get it in the place where it's going to stay, and it's going to stay there, it's always a good bet to go ahead and add a little bit of liquid glue. And I tend to like the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I know a lot of people use other things like the glitter art glue, or the barely art, I don't know, something like that. But this is the one that I like. It works really well for me. So there's my completed layout, you guys. I hope you can see the stitching a little bit there in the close-ups. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. There you can see the stitching, you guys, and that gold stitching looks really cool in person. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys again tomorrow with another video. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and if you don't mind subscribing, if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to do that too. And I do get back to all of the comments, and I read all of them. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.